installing Mac OS right now.
Yeah. It
I
seems
forgot-
like the newest OS stuff on some of the older Macs is causing issues, but
Yeah, I realized that when I shut it down last week, it was going to install an update. So that was probably it. Well, what I could try to do, I'll just play you guys the intro because it's pretty good. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down when you start hearing something, or if you don't. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down when you start hearing something. Okay. Thanks. Good job, guys.
I was waiting to hear something.
Yeah, I know. I was too. I hear you talking. We're going to keep it at this. We're going to do Gladiator style.
Are you not entertained? Oh, we're live.
Previously on Incredible Critics.
I'm going to go with The Room.
The Room. The Room is not.
The Room.
Oh, I can't believe you picked my movie. Sorry,
Hear
The
me out.
Room was not on the bracket, Frankie, so I think you meant Inception.
I'm sorry. The Room, not The Room. Correct. I'm picking the movie Room. Is
You're
that better?
tearing my heart out, Frankie. This is Incredible Critics. We're incredible, not because Ben's computer's broken, but because the points don't matter. I'm one of your hosts, Tim Lasers Gruber, and I'm joined by Frankie, number
Tim.
3 Fusco.
Yo, it's 2. I'm number 2.
Yeah, I'm doing it bad on purpose.
Oh, I thought you just didn't care.
I'm keeping it, just so you know. I'm totally
Yeah.
using that.
Also, that Ben guy. At
Hey,
the
Tim.
at the Ben Franco.
I already said hey, Tim. At Prof
Wow.
B.
These are all wrong. These are all terribly wrong.
It has been a week and a Monday. Hashtag Mondays.
But this is released on Tuesday, so now everybody's confused.
Hashtag Mondays again. You know why it's called Tuesday? Because it's sometimes twice as bad as Monday. Boom!
Because it's like Monday, but in disguise.
True story. It's the dumbest day of the week.
Sorry, Ben. You can keep hosting from there if you want. Because I don't remember what we're talking about.
You were doing great. I'll show that at the end. All right. Maybe at some point I'll have sound. Maybe.
Oh, you just don't have any sounds?
40
Well,
minutes.
us?
You gotta wait for that.
No,
OS
I-
to install.
Yeah. Well, it says 10 minutes. No, Frankie, I run the sound off of my Mac Mini, which may have just.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm reinstalling the OS because Mondays. All right.
Ben's tired, guys. Can we talk about that on Benter?
It's Monday.
That's the plan.
Monday.
Everything sucks on Monday.
I don't know why I called it Bender. I meant Banter.
I knew what you meant.
Bender is a
Bender.
character from that show.
Yeah. All right, let's get going. We are the Incredible Critics. Incredible not because we're great, but much like the intro that you'll hear at the end of the episode provided by Tim,
Whoa.
our credibility should seriously
Shots
be questioned.
fired.
Shots fired. I am Ben Franco. This week we are going to be talking about what we've been watching in our What's On section, and then going through the Elite 8 of our March movie Madness. Joining me this week, as always, Tim Gruber.
Did you? Oh, that sound effect is so good. I enjoyed it.
Yep. Yeah. You'll hear it multiple times this week. And Frankie Fusco.
Hey, Ben.
Guys, how are you doing this week?
Doing great,
Well-
Ben. How are you doing? You seem like you're having a great day.
I'm having a day.
Yeah.
I will not insert any qualifiers beyond a day. Because it is indeed a day.
Is
and it
one
will
of those-
soon be over.
One of those days where like you spilt hot coffee on yourself and you were like, I'm gonna sue McDonald's, and you're like, oh crap, somebody already did that. and you can't.
Yeah.
One of
yeah.
those days.
One of those days. Everybody has them. No, my I've been chronically exhausted. I don't know if that has anything to do with having a child. It might, but she sleeps great, so I don't
think
want to
so.
blame it on her. But my left eyelid has been twitching on and off daily for 4 weeks.
You need,
Yeah.
I think, minerals or vitamins.
You're that weird person on the public transit that the little kids point at and go, "Mommy, what's wrong with him?" And your mom's like, "Don't point."
To be fair, I've always been that person.
Oh,
If we're being real.
that's fair.
Womp,
That's fair.
womp.
Yeah, but no, just crazy day, and then sit down to do the podcast, and one of my computers had crashed. So just one of those days.
One
At
of
least you
those.
have that beautiful
those.
city skyline behind your apartment building.
Yeah, as I broadcast from New York City,
From your loft.
high up in my loft.
Making that VidAngel money, man. Not pepper.
That VidAngel Dr. Pepper
Making that
credit.
VidAngel money for sure. How's your guys' week been?
Good. I survived Hurricane Toby. I mean, Winter Storm.
Winter Storm, Toby.
Toby beer.
Beer. No.
I'm pretty sure we're done with nor'easters.
Hopefully.
I'm pretty
Forever.
sure.
We didn't get one this week, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's a change.
Yeah, that's true. I'm done forever with snow. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Yeah.
It was tough, man. We thought it was gonna be so bad, and then in New York at least it wasn't until I don't know, like 7 or 8 o'clock.
Until
at
it
night.
was.
Yeah, well, until like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. They said it was gonna start at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and it was like just rain, and then like 7, 8, it started getting heavy. And I was like, it's almost done now. It won't be that bad. I woke up in the morning to 20 inches of snow, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh
I need
wow.
to shovel all of this. And I
Uh.
don't want to.
That sucks.
Yeah. And it's not like Phoenixville. We used to be able to pay random street people to shovel out
To
your
shovel.
car.
You let homeless people shovel.
I don't think they
Your
were
driveway.
homeless. I think they just
I mean,
don't know. They looked like they could have been homeless, but yes, I paid them to shovel my driveway. It was like $25, and it was the best $25 I ever spent when I lived in Phoenixville.
Wow.
wow. Yeah. Wow.
Back. It's called the circle.
It's called a circle.
Circle of
It's a
economic.
circle of life-enomics.
That's so ridiculous. Well, let's get this capped off with started off, I don't know, words with our favorite section, What's On?
What's on?
I'm gonna add that to the end of the regular sound bite.
Just see what happens.
Yeah,
I think Ben. I
least-
think an
at least
alien
everyone
got
knows what
into
he's
your audio clip there.
they may have. They may have.
So, Ben, what have you been
hold
watching?
on.
What
Maybe
have you-
actually, maybe the what's on is just the sound of your MacBook dying.
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
That's what it was all along. You could hear it, but the rest of us heard it crying out. And now
What's
it's-
on? Not me. Very shortly, the Mac Mini's crying out as it slowly dies. That could be.
So
That
Ben,
very well could
what
be.
have you been watching this week other than your eyelid twitch?
Yeah, my eyelid
know.
twitch. That's what I've been watching the most of.
Does it make you think you're always at a rave because the light's just going like?
No, it's not that much. It's not like enough to make it fun. Like if you look at me, it doesn't even necessarily look like it's twitching.
I
It's just
try my hardest not to look at you.
yeah, I know, but just like this little jitter that like bugs the crap out of me. I don't
So
know.
you're saying it's a jitterbug?
I hate you so much.
The jitterbug. The jitterbug.
So much. Yeah, well, besides catching up and watching and rewatching things for our March movie madness bracket, insert sound clip again. I've been watching this TV show on Prime called Salvation. It's not a good show, but I'm
You can't stop
watching it. Yeah, but I'm
Is
watching
that a
it.
Western?
It is not. It's a show about this group of people that find out that a asteroid is heading to destroy planet Earth. and hilarity ensues.
Epic.
Yeah, you know what I realized? So my wife and I were trying to find something to watch on TV, and like we didn't want something like crazy heavy, but like not like a comedy either. It's really hard to find something in that mix. Like where people dying constantly isn't the main plot line, and where it's not just made to be a comedy. There's nothing in between.
Yo Gabba Gabba is really
Yeah, right.
No, I've done that. I've had a few shows where you kind of they're so bad, but you kind of are in this mood where you're like, well, I've invested this much time into it, so
Yeah,
I need. To
I
see
have
it
to
through.
see it through.
I was like that with The Dome. I don't know if you guys remember that movie.
Yeah.
The Dome,
Yeah.
or TV show. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's I watched the whole thing and I didn't like any of it.
yeah. Wait, was that Under the Dome?
Under the Dome, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, we almost started watching that, and then we were just like, it's just everybody's upset and like annoyed, and it's just there's nothing. There's no light TV. There's no morning edition. You know,
Early edition.
I'm trying to come up with
Shut
something.
up.
and I think you're right.
Early edition. Sorry.
Early
I know.
edition.
The
My
Mondays.
bad. The
I've got a
Mondays.
case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
Hang in there, buddy.
Besides that, I saw what's it called? Murder on the Orient Express.
Ooh,
Okay.
wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No.
Yeah, it was.
I felt very similar to it as I feel about the TV show Salvation. Like it's fine. It's fine. It would be good. Like my kid was like 10, 12, maybe 13 years old. They're just getting into kind of like
Trains.
deeper
Mysteries.
movies. Yeah. Different plot lines. and that
Kenneth
type of thing.
Branagh.
You're right.
They're just getting into Kenneth.
Yeah. That'd be a good like introduction into like some more thinker type of movies, but not worth watching. Good, clean fun, but not nothing that you need to rush out and see now.
But listen, Olaf is in it. Ray is in
There you
it.
go. There you go.
I was gonna say Johnny Depp the pirate
Yep.
because that's his name.
Yep.
He's in it as the pirate.
Yes.
Sure.
he's in it as Jack Sparrow. It's really weird.
Oh, interesting.
She uses the Force on the train.
Oh, Frankie, what have you been watching?
I recently, it's funny. Amazon. I don't have time for TV as much as I used to. That's what I'm trying to say. Now that
growing up.
with my growing up and having like a real job schedule where I'm not working from home all the time. I'm so tired when I come home and I go to bed. So I haven't really been watching much. So every once in a while I'll put on a movie and watch it over like, I don't know, 2 days. And Amazon Prime just came out with Valerian, the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah.
And when it came out in theaters, I remember seeing the reviews for it. And I was like, oh, that's definitely a movie I'm never going to go see.
Well, wasn't it like the most expensive French film ever made?
$250 million.
That's insane.
It made worldwide like 275.
So they may have broken even.
Poor them.
They made 25 million, right?
Well, no, 'cause
Well-
normally the budget doesn't include marketing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that was marketed like a lot.
It was a lot. I just couldn't. My biggest issues with it were like, what's his name, Dane.
Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan. I can't stand him. Like, I really don't think he's a good actor. And I saw the commercials and I was like, I have no desire to see him. And then the Cara Delevingne, I can't say her name either, but she's been in a few other movies that I've liked the movies but hated her characters. And I was like, oh, I'm not really gonna like this movie, and it just seems so CG, and I just wasn't into it. And now for free on Amazon Prime, I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I really liked it. It was really good. The CG was gorgeous. The movie was really fun, and it had a really good plot and storyline. And I still hated the main character, Dane. I thought his acting was pretty horrible, and they really could have casted anybody else as a hero and not this guy, or anti-hero, I guess he is. But overall, I definitely would recommend it to everyone to go see it.
How did you feel about Rihanna though?
Her character is almost all CG, and it was very weird when she came on screen. I also didn't know she was in it until like I'm like, oh, that's Rihanna. But it was
And then she became a
Riri, as we
blob.
like to call her.
Riri. Yeah. She actually did a lot better than Dane. So
Nice. Tim, what have you been watching?
Been watching some Stargate SG-1.
Yeah.
yeah,
Boom. Really?
Really?
Insert
Really?
really clip.
Let me know when you get to Atlantis. the good
and
story of it.
and also playing that Fortnite.
Nice.
Yeah, playing that Fortnite. It's
On
free.
mobile?
On the phone.
I
or-
actually have tried it on the phone, and I've gotten to like the top 2 many times and not won because the controls are horrible because it's on a phone. What can you say? But I'm still astounded that it looks exactly like the Xbox One version. It's like identical. It's crazy. But I've been playing that with some old buddies from college and all kinds of people. Some pastor friends. I played it with my nephew in Iowa. He was playing
When did you go to
Um,
Iowa?
Video games in Iowa.
through Xbox Live. Through the internet, Ben.
Oh.
Oh.
Dad
Um,
joke.
Yeah. But I'm excited for something coming up this week, Ben.
Yeah.
And I know you are too.
Are you saying you're ready for something coming this
I'm
week?
ready for Player One.
What?
Ready Player One.
Yeah. Frankie, are you going to go see that? Because we're going to review that next week.
Yeah, I'll go see it immediately.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually really kind of getting more and more excited for the movie. I tried reading a book.
You know what? If
and
you,
I
if you
fell
don't
asleep like
reading,
3 pages in.
Yeah,
so
if-
like
if you don't like reading for real, listen to the audiobook because
Yeah.
it's read by Will Wheaton.
Wheaton.
Will
is
Wheaton.
it really? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I can do that.
And it's great.
I'm really late on the train, but I've been obsessed with the Serial podcast.
Wow. Yeah.
Never-
You're like
yeah, and it's
4
4
years.
Yeah,
years
that's
too.
pretty
I put
far.
it off. Here's the thing: I put it off so I can find out what happens at the end.
So,
I was still working at Valley Forge when that came out.
It was 2014.
Yeah.
So real quick addition to that though is a lot of people are starting to do that kind of thing now since Serial was so popular, and it's like they're bringing back the old radio dramas kind of a thing. It's
yeah, it's
crazy.
fantastic.
But Marvel did one, I think, that just started releasing. That's a Wolverine story,
What?
and so I'm about to get into that. Probably this week.
Did Christopher Nolan direct it? Because then I might give it a shot.
Christopher Nolan can't read.
What?
You heard it here first.
Breaking news from Incredible Critic.
I can't believe you guys didn't know that. I thought
Breaking news.
Was that a
Breaking
secret?
news.
He can't read, so he definitely can't podcast. Direct a podcast.
No, because how is he supposed to read?
That's not.
That's,
No, doesn't.
that's a thing. Oh, that's amazing. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's break down our Elite 8 from our March movie madness bracket.
That clip, though.
That clip dough. All right. So we are down again to our Elite 8 fourth round.
The Social Network.
Wow.
The Social
Versus
Network
Toy Story
versus
3.
Toy Story 3.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
So what's funny, nobody called me out on that. So I did all of these polls this weekend over the for the Elite 8, accidentally putting the Social Network up against Toy Story 3,
Which was
last week.
But
But
some people were like, "Wow,
yeah.
this is
In-
hard."
Interestingly enough, 14 people went for Toy Story 3. So
Wow.
the masses chose against us with the Social
Oh no,
Network.
it chose against you guys. I'm pretty sure I picked Toy Story 3.
14 to 11. But this week, we are deciding between the Social Network and Star Wars The Last Jedi.
What?
Now, I'm curious where you guys, or I'm interested to see where you guys will go with this. Tim, why don't you start us out?
Yeah. This is a good one because for real, though, I know last week I was hating on the Social Network a little bit because
All in
I didn't
good
want to
fun.
vote for it.
All in good fun.
Yeah. But truthfully, it's a very gripping film, very gripping story. Not really a true story, but maybe a true story, but maybe not, but probably not.
More true than Fargo. We've been over this.
Yeah. So, pit like a almost true story about the history of something we literally use every day, and that millions of Americans are deleting this week. Oh, political. Okay. See what I did? But
did. I saw
seriously, I gotta go for Star Wars. And I want to say the biggest thing with the new Star Wars movie was that I went into it knowing mostly what to expect, but hoping that I would be surprised, hoping that that the magic would be recaptured. And so to speak, no, the Force. And that's honestly, that's what I left with. I left with, wow, I did not see this coming or this coming and this coming. And even though I had some issues with the film, overall, that's a movie that I'm going to, I live for Star Wars, but that's a movie that I'm going to watch and rewatch and watch. And I'm going to watch when it's out digital now. I'm about to, when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to watch the whole version that's just music because that exists. And evidently it's amazing. So I'm going for Star Wars.
I loved Rian Johnson's film. I've loved many of Rian Johnson's films. I'm so looking forward to his trilogy of Star Wars films. But I'm going for The Social Network. If we all agree, well, how do I want to say this? I do love Christopher Nolan films. And if I have to choose a writer, it's going to be Aaron Sorkin. Like, if I have to choose a director, it's Christopher Nolan.
So if you have a man crush on a Hollywood writer,
right?
It's Aaron Sorkin.
If it's Aaron Sorkin,
yeah.
Mine would be Matt Damon.
You love you some Matt Damon.
I love how he writes. Aaron Sorkin, not Matt Damon, though I'm sure he's a terrific writer.
Oh yeah.
And many of his films and TV shows, I will watch multiple times just because the writing is so good. So The Social Network, that opening scene, the opening scene to Social Network beats, in my opinion, in terms of storytelling and in writing, any scene in The Social Network. Or, I'm sorry, in The Last Jedi. Words. So I am going for The Social Network. I think it is a great film. And my favorite thing about Aaron Sorkin's films, when he does these biopics, however you want to say it, my favorite quote was when they watched the Steve Jobs biopic. I forget which Apple exec, but one of the ones that was there right from the very beginning said, "It's amazing. None of that happened, and all of it's true." Because what he tries to do is he tries to get a sense of the person and write the story that tells you about the person and not about the actual things that happened.
Yeah, that's Steve Jobs though.
Yeah. So, Frankie, the vote comes down to you.
This is tough because The Social Network is the last movie that I included in my pool of movies that we all added in, so I feel like an attachment to it. If this goes, then I no longer have movies inside the tournament bracket. But at the same time, I love Star Wars so much, and the Stars was so good. And if we're going off of which movie I'm going to rewatch a ton of times, it's going to be Star Wars over The Social Network. I've probably seen Social Network like 3 times. Star Wars I've seen 3 times, and I'll probably watch it a good another in my lifetime 30, 40, 50 times. But I picked The Social Network, so it's like it's so tough. No, I'm not saying.
So what are you doing? What are you doing?
I want to come back to it. Can they both win?
No, they can't. That's not.
There's no wild card
that works.
Is there a losers bracket? Do we have a losers bracket going on?
Yeah, the blind side's going strong.
Blind side.
I'm going to pick The Social Network.
Frankie hates himself right now.
Whoa.
Here's why. I'm trying. Sometimes I pick movies off of what I like the best, and other times I pick movies off what I think is a better movie. And why I loved Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, I think I knew a lot of people who came out of the movie who disliked The Last Jedi, and I don't really know too many people who disliked Social Network. I think it was pretty much everyone who watched that movie loved it and thought it was a great movie. So that's why I'm picking The Social Network.
Frankie, that's a good pick. That's a heartfelt pick. We know that you are truly torn. So
our first Final Four movie,
The Social Network, 16
Wow.
seed.
Uh-oh.
Still dancing. All right, next, let's kick it over to our bottom right bracket. This is also an interesting. I mean, all of these are going to be interesting. Let's be real. These are some tough choices. Number 4, Captain America: Civil War, against number 14, The Martian. Now, The Martian, was that your pick, Frankie?
The Martian was not my pick.
14. Was
Oh,
that
was
yours?
it?
It must have been yours, Tim.
Yeah, I think that was one of
Must have
mine.
been yours.
I think it was.
All right. Well, Tim, why don't you start us out then? What is your pick between Captain America: Civil War and The Martian?
I would say this one is just, it comes down to the facts. Do I also enjoy some Matt Damon? Yes. Yes, I do. Not as much as Frankie.
I was going to say, would you say that you love you some Matt Damon?
Oh, no. I enjoy some Matt Damon. Frankie loves him some Matt Damon. But even though it was my pick, I'm going with Civil War. And here's why. It was a huge culmination. Again, it was, I think, the true second Avengers movie, is what I'll say.
Dogs.
It was a true
also dogs.
culmination and also a true kind of launching point for the following 4 or 5 movies that came out after it for the MCU. And I think overall, I enjoyed the story a lot more. Again, another one that kind of surprised me. They kind of set up the dichotomy of the characters. They're at the end of the movie. They come out of it and they're like, well, we can't be friends. We might kind of be friends still, but it's kind of all left on the table. We're going to find out what happens in May or at the end of April to continue that. But for me, The Martian, I loved it. I read the book even. But it just, I think the book was definitely way better than the movie. I think Matt Damon did an amazing job bringing that to life, but it's still, there was still a lot of ways where it just felt like, oh, let's do a fresh Apollo 13 style thing, but on Mars and Matt Damon and sometimes jokes. I think the jokes were better in the book, personally. And so anyways, I'm going with Civil War. I'm casting out my own movie.
Well, I guess I'll go from there because microphone. I am picking The Martian. Not really surprising. It's I liked Civil War, but it was also a little bit more of the same to me, as is my criticism of a lot of the Marvel films in general. I really enjoyed The Martian. I thought it was a really fun story. And for this one, if I had to choose and go sit down and watch one of these movies right now, it'd be The Martian over Civil War. I just liked it a lot more. There's really not much to say about it. Civil War is good. I just like The Martian more. On our poll on Facebook, 20 people of the 33 people that voted, 20 people chose The Martian. So it was 20-13 in favor of The Martian. So Frankie, again, comes down to you.
Oh. Now you guys know. I love me some Matt Damon. All right. And The Martian is a very great movie. One of his better roles in the last 5 or so years. But not as good as The Wall, but almost as good as The Wall. I'm gonna go with Captain America: Civil War because Spider-Man and Iron Man versus Captain America,
sick,
and one of the best comic book series ever written. I have to go with it. I have to say it's a better movie. It's has more of a rewatchability, and I know that people loved it. It was one of the everyone loves every Marvel movie, but people love this movie.
So you guys will probably disagree with this, but I can't remember a single scene in Captain America: Civil War besides the airport and besides the end scene with Captain America fighting Iron Man.
That's majority of the movie.
That's like there's no other part of the movie to me. So I don't know. That's if a movie's that forgettable besides two iconic.
I'm sorry, how many did you only saw that one time?
Yeah, how'd you? Are you missing the giant explosion?
I only saw the
Martian
Martian once too, and I remember a lot more about the Martian.
Did you read the book though?
I did not read the book.
Oh,
nope.
So Ben also loves him some Matt Damon.
I do. I love me some Matt Damon. All right, next up in our top right bracket, number 9, Spider-Man: Homecoming, going up against number 2, The Dark Knight. I'll start off with this one. So I actually finally got around to watching Spider-Man: Homecoming. It was the only movie in our Elite 8 that I hadn't seen. So I was like, okay, need to do me some homework. It is a really fun movie. It is a really fun movie. It is the perfect Spider-Man movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Was it Tim Holland? Is that his name?
Tom Holland.
Tom. I was close. Tom Holland is the perfect cast in that role. The guy that plays Ned is hilarious. Chair guy, as he wants to be called. It is a really, really, really fun movie. All around. There's nothing much bad that you can say about it, except that towards the end it became a little comic booky, a little stereotypical. And it's a really great movie. I really enjoyed it.
I hate when those comic book movies become comic booky.
But it's not The Dark Knight. It is not The Dark Knight. I also rewatched most of The Dark Knight. I'll be honest, I didn't rewatch all of it, but I've seen that multiple times. The Dark Knight is so transcendent as a superhero movie.
You didn't even have to watch the whole thing?
Oh, I've seen the whole thing several times. Like, I've seen that movie so much over the last decade. No, it's such a transcendent film. It is so much more than a superhero film. And I can't say that about any Marvel film that I've seen, is that it is still just a superhero film. So that's why my vote goes to The Dark Knight. Tim, I don't know. Should we go with Tim or Frankie? Which one do you want to chime in?
Let's go with Tim.
Let's let Frankie just decide
all of them. Decide all of them.
I love the power.
Look, people are gonna hate. There's gonna be a lot of hate, but I went with Spider-Man over The Dark Knight, and I can't. For me, it came down to this. I realized that The Dark Knight, and this I said in a conversation a little bit to you guys. I realized that The Dark Knight is the cinematography is
perfect.
GOAT. It is the GOAT.
Yep.
The Joker was the GOAT.
He's the best villain ever.
He's an amazing villain. I think his portrayal of the Joker was phenomenal. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was great. I think though, to me, I felt as far as Christian Bale went, it was just, I think he was better in Batman Begins.
Sure.
I think his story arc was better. I wish, looking back at those movies, I wish they would have kept him growing as a character out of Batman Begins more, because after Batman Begins, he's just always the same Batman. He's just, this is the level he's at, and then at some point he fakes his own death and just disappears. And that's his character development. So I would have liked that a lot more. I felt with Spider-Man, it really was this culmination of that we've gone through all these Spider-Man movies. Some of them were really good. Some of them were great.
Some of them were mediocre, and some of them were terrible.
No, some of them were great, and some of them were not. Just remember, Ben, if there was not a Sam Raimi Spider-Man 1 or 2, there would not have been a Batman Begins. But to me, though, it was this culmination of, it really was the perfect portrayal, a modern portrayal of, let's bring the original Peter Parker, the original story of Spider-Man, and make it today. And the casting being unbelievable. Outside of that, to me, it was that every main character in that movie, the heroes, the villains, whoever, actually had motivation. They had a growing kind of story arc for their characters. There was growth and change and different stuff going on for everybody in the movie. Even Tony Stark at the end had sorry, that was really comic booky. Maybe I should skip past that. You should skip past that, Ben. No. Even he at the end had like a moment, where his character, even though he was in the movie a little bit, he had some change and some development and stuff. Even Happy had some stuff like that. But outside of that, I think the villain as well was really good. It was not
Michael Keaton was fantastic.
But he was fantastic. Basically playing like an evil, down on his luck version of Batman. Who just flies around stealing stuff from people, which was hilarious and ironic. And I think he did an amazing job, because there wasn't too many times where I was like, oh, this is just a bird. He's being Birdman, right. Or, oh, that's his Batman thing. I felt like his character, and I think the biggest thing too, going out of that was different than all the other comic booky movies at the end, Ben, was that he will live on in the Marvel universe.
That's true.
So we don't have a lot of, in the MCU, we don't have a lot of villains that even make it past the first movie, the movie that they're in.
You know what villain was going to live beyond their movie? The Joker.
That's true. Rip.
So, no, yeah. I mean, again, Spider-Man Homecoming might be my favorite Marvel film. Like, it was really that good. And it could even be up there with The Dark Knight with Batman Begins. But it's not.
No, I think you misspoke the right way. I think that was a Freudian slip, as they say.
No, it's my eye twitching. Frankie.
I think Tim and you both said everything that I can possibly say about the two movies.
So just tell us your pick.
Exactly. Heath Ledger, but I also hated Christian Bale in this movie. Tom Holland, so amazing. But I think I'm going to go with The Dark Knight.
Because that's the right decision.
Just because of Heath Ledger, really. That's really the main reason for picking The Dark Knight. And also it was more original than than Spider-Man was, even though Spider-Man was close. So it's a tough pick. I don't really like it. I don't like that I said it, but I'm going with The Dark Knight. I'm gonna take a shower.
Frankie was pretty on the fence for a while this week.
Mm-hmm. On almost all of these.
Yeah,
this last one.
Yep. Yeah, so now getting to it, our last pick, bottom left bracket, number 16, Room, going up against number 15, Argo.
Hold up. I've been thinking about this all week, guys, and I want to throw it out there because me and Ben have been picking The Room pretty consistently.
No, we've been picking Room.
Room, not The Room.
You're not picking The Room.
How can you not say the before Room? We've been picking the movie Room.
How can you keep picking Frankie? Why are you doing this?
And I was totally on the fence this week because I really like Argo. And Room is a kind of depressing movie, but it's a great movie. And Ben is always picking Room, and Tim is always going to pick the opposite whatever Room is. So I brought in a buddy of mine. His name is Luke. We've been best friends for a very long time. He is, in all honesty, the most well-educated person on comics I've ever met in my whole entire life, and all things nerdum. And that says a lot because I know Tim. But he also has a real hatred for Argo,
which is not a common
thing at all. No.
Like most people, even if they don't love it, they still like the film.
No, he also hates Rogue One as well. But we'll get into that a different day.
Uh-oh.
But,
Arguably the best Star Wars film.
Arguably. He's gonna argue.
but so I brought Luke in real quick to kind of give us a perspective on maybe why we shouldn't pick Argo, especially for me and Tim, and why we should pick Room. So Luke, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, welcome.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it. I've been a long time listener, and I really wanted to provide my 2 cents on why I'm baffled by the length of time that Argo has managed to stay in the bracket.
Okay, well, to be fair, did you see how long The Blind Side lasted?
The Blind Side's a great movie.
And I would argue that Blindside
He stops him with his arm.
he does.
He stops him with his arm.
So, really, I'll dive right into it. So, my problem with Argo is that it makes a really good sentence, but I do not believe that it deserved to be a movie, let alone earn the acclaim that it did. So, the US government rescues hostages with a fake sci-fi movie. After saying that sentence, there's nothing else to know about the movie Argo. So, great true story. There's a lot of great true stories. There's a lot of interesting things that happen to people, but you don't need to make a movie off of it, let alone the acclaim that movie has managed to earn, to the awards it has earned. Multiple times throughout the movie, there was an opportunity for action, for a twist, for some type of conflict beyond the base premise of Argo. And each time, nothing happened. Several times people would go, "Oh, are these Americans up to something?" No. And just walk away. Even at the end, are they going to be in trouble before they get onto the plane? No. And they were not. Just left hanging on every instance of a potential interesting spike or some type of firework through the movie. Almost, but no, we need to get funding for this fake movie project. Okay, we got it. We need to get into Iran to save these hostages. Okay, they accepted our papers that we forged. We need to get the people out. Well, who are these people that you're bringing out? They're producers. We're from Canada. Okay, I believe you. Get on the plane and leave. Great true story. However, there's many great true stories that occur, such as the gentleman who landed that plane on the Hudson. Did not need to be a movie because the movie was just he landed the plane on the Hudson. However, a true story that did deserve to be a movie was the plane landing with Denzel. That had some twists, had some additional plot points, had some character development outside of just the premise for the movie. And I see Argo as just this great sentence, a very interesting thing that happened in history, but there was no continued points of interest that deserved to have a story arc, that deserved to have that much time committed to it, let alone the acclaim that it received.
In our bracket. When you're talking about acclaim, you mean acclaim in our bracket.
Exactly, of course. The highest form of acclaim.
Okay, but to me, that sounds like you have more of an issue with true stories based off of real life events. Because can't you sum up every real life event like that? Like Miracle, they played hockey and then they beat Russia.
I will say, in his defense, a lot of times in these true movies, they add things to make the movie more interesting.
Also, Mighty Ducks 3. They and they beat.
So really, and that's a fair point that about true stories being made into movies. However, in multiple instances where you have based on true events, there's still something additional other than the premise, other than the one sentence synopsis, and not even a long run-on sentence at that. It is simply, they made a fake movie to get hostages free. And outside of that, there was not really any significant occurrence. And that is my qualm with Argo. So
Okay, so real quick, sorry, Frankie. What was your thought? What are your thoughts, like or not, dislike, on another movie that came out that same year, Zero Dark 30? Very similar, being like a wartime type film, also based at least somewhat on a true story. Did you like that film? I'm just curious.
I absolutely did. I thought it was very interesting. There were subplots and character development and micro conflicts that actually sparked, that didn't just say, oh, no, never mind. No, nothing's going to happen. Is someone going to catch on? There was activity outside of that main one sentence concept for the film. It was not just about, the Humphrey bin Laden, correct?
Right.
It wasn't just, we went in and we shot bin Laden, and that's the only thing that happened in the movie. There was additional activity,
Sure.
which really made it, other than you just watched a couple guys walk into a room and shoot bin Laden. That's how I saw Argo to be. It's going to be about killing bin Laden, and they went in and they accomplished it. It's just right to the point, really concise is the extent that I saw Argo going to versus Zero Dark 30.
Okay. All right.
Well, thank you for your opinion, Luke.
Yeah.
For the record, anybody that wants to air their grievances about on this podcast, just let us know. We'll allow it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the time.
So,
So let's do our picks real quick.
I was gonna say, hearing Luke's argument, Tim, why don't you go ahead and start us out?
I'm definitely gonna pick Argo. Real quick, hold on. Can we just rewind for a second? How did you see the room? Did you see Room?
I have actually not seen Room.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Besides the point.
That's fine.
Inside Out should have won. So
also, other question then, because Frankie said you didn't like Rogue One.
correct.
So what did you think about Rogue One versus Argo?
Man, that's hard.
Because that was our first. That was in the first round.
I probably still would have picked Rogue One despite my strong dislike of Rogue One. And I'm a diehard Star Wars fan. I have multiple Star Wars tattoos. I'm a member of the 501st Garrison of Stormtroopers. I've read upwards of 100 novels. I own about 1,000 comic books.
Oh, we believe you. You don't have to.
Hashtag bragging.
Yeah,
Humble brag.
brag. But
Kendra's a lucky lady.
So I would have picked Rogue One. I wouldn't have taken Rogue One much further, but I definitely would have chosen it over Argo.
All right, Ben, are you choosing Room?
Luke, I hear your points, and I probably need to rewatch Argo. What I will say is that Zero Dark 30 won my bracket when I did this before everything else. So I think Zero Dark 30 is a superior film to Argo. But I'm actually picking Argo over Room.
Oh, no. I'm shocked. I thought this was rigged. I thought the whole thing was rigged for Room.
No, Frankie, what's your pick? And then I'll go into mine.
My pick was gonna be Room. I wasn't gonna change it.
Frankie swayed easily.
I did sway easily. I kind of got what he said. You know what? He brought it up. He was talking about it, and I completely forgot about the sci-fi. Like the whole premise was a sci-fi movie they were making.
How did you forget that?
I forgot because you know what I remember? I remember Argo F yourself. That's all I really remember from that movie. And them getting on the plane. Like that's really and like Ben Affleck just being Ben Affleck, all broody.
Yeah, but there's still something about. There's still something about that tension the whole time of him not necessarily being like super qualified to be doing what he's doing, going in there, and just that tension the whole time. Luke, wholeheartedly hear your thoughts, and that is probably a fair criticism. But I'm also somewhat a sucker for those types of movies that are based on true stories. I really am, even though you can probably sum up a lot of them like that. Zero Dark 30 being an exception, where you see so much character development in Jessica Chastain. But I just, there is something about Argo that I just really, really, really enjoyed. only slightly less than Zero Dark 30. And Room, go watch Room. And if you ever want to watch it again, that'd be surprising because you probably won't.
But I'll remember everything about Room forever.
No, Room is absolutely devastating.
I can't ever unwatch Room. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's absolutely devastating, and the performances are great. Like, I love Room, but there's just I can't tell anybody to go watch Room. I could tell people to watch Argo.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
We have our final four, guys.
There we go. Next week, we will be reviewing Ready Player One, as well as going through the final four. This will be interesting. Frankie, where can people contact us if they want to air their grievances?
You guys can tweet at us at 3CriticsPod. Leave us a comment on the iTunes, and don't forget to give us a rating and hit subscribe. That helps us out a lot. And then finally, if you want to go vote on any of our polls, hit the like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/IncredibleCritics, and let us know what you think about how poor all of our choices were.
Until next week, we are the Incredible Critics.
Music.
That
Yeah.
outro music is on point.
Right? Normally we have the music.
This is playing.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, buddy. Your beard game is getting real
Yeah, thanks,
strong.
Luke.
Yeah, I did trim it down a little bit. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I've been following everything this past couple of weeks, and I've been like, they better kick out Argo. I just have a problem with that movie. So.
Next time Ben is gone, we'll have you on and do a total nerd session on all comics.
Yes.
Oh, that'd
There
be
you
fun.
go. It will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love that.
All
I
right,
don't
guys.
think your microphone was working,
Is
but
yeah, I think it might just be working on the headphone one. I don't know what's going on here.
that's fine. We still got it. It's good.
It looks good though when you're holding a microphone.
There you go.
Yeah. Were you able to hear it decently well, at least?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
saw
Well
it.
enough.
You just
Okay.
sound like in the background.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks
All right,
a lot. I
guys.
appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Peace. All right, that happened.
That happened. Yeah, there's something about Argo. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'll say to me too, it was something from history that, and I mean, I would say this is more factual than The Social Network.
Yeah, it's
It's
still
still-
romanticized.
Yeah, exactly, romanticized. But to me, it was something of, this is something from history that people never cared about and never talked about.
Right.
It was just like, I've heard
Well-
about the Iranian hostage thing. I did not ever hear anything about like, oh, and by the way, to do that, this is kind
Right.
of what they had to do.
Well, and
This
part of
is
that
what-
was that it was top secret for 30 years or something.
Right.
So,
It's nuts to me.
yeah.
Also,
And,
it beat Lincoln. Let's just put it.
I mean, to me, it beat Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
To me, Zero Dark 30. I can't believe Zero Dark 30 didn't make it farther in our bracket. But
Well,
I'm gonna stop the broadcast.
Apple.